What's up, basketball fans? This is Coach Nicole, and welcome to The Pickup. Today, we're really excited to bring you Emme Rooney. Emme is a 2022 guard from Silver Creek High School in Indiana. This past season, she really started to come into her own when it comes to her game, so we're looking forward to chatting with her about some of her unique academic interests and also to check out some of her film from this past season. Emme, I appreciate you taking some time out to chat with me a little bit. Tell me a little bit about what you've been up to now that school is out.
Well, now that school actually ended for me about a week ago, so I've been in almost the same routine just without school. I would wake up in the morning and I would do my online school. Sometimes I'd put it off to the nighttime, but either way. And usually workouts ended up being at like 3. We have a basketball goal outside, so me and my sister would go at it. She's 13.
Okay.
Still thinks that she can beat me one-on-one, but it's okay.
Not there yet?
No. And she's a gym rat too, so we loved getting outside whenever we could. That was basically how I kept myself busy.
Cool. So what was the hardest part about transitioning to taking classes online?
So taking classes online was a bit of a different experience because we've never done it before, I had to adapt with the family being around me at all times. That was the biggest thing because I have my sister coming in to ask me questions about school. I have my mom and dad working from home at the same time as all of us. The Wi-Fi would shut off because we're all on it at once. So that was the biggest thing, was being on with family.
Nice. And so how did you try to combat that? Did that schedule help a little bit so everybody kind of knew, okay, this is our work time and we just kind of be separate?
Yeah. I mean, we all went as far away from each other as possible. Like we went to separate corners of the house, gave each other space, but either way, I mean, you're all together, so you can't really avoid it.
Yeah. Good. So I know you have very unique academic interests as far as what you want to study in college. So tell me a little bit about that.
So it is very unique to some people, yes. So whenever I go to college, I either want to study on a pre-law track or go into an environmental studies major because the goal is to be an environmental lawyer.
Awesome. And how did you come to that? Did you just wake up one day and like, you know what? I want to be an environmental lawyer. How did that come to be?
So my thing was going into my sophomore year of high school, I had no clue of what I wanted to do at all. So I sat down with my parents and I was like, look, I need your all's help. We need to sit down and we need to look at things that I would be interested in. And historically, I've always hated science. But the only science that I really love studying is the environmental side, the climate, all of that. It excites me. And then obviously being a lawyer, I kind of love to argue. So I love putting that into perspective. So we just weighed our options and that's what I've gone with so far.
Nice. So you want to study that and also play basketball in college. So how do you plan to balance such a kind of rigorous academic workload plus with also the demands of being an athlete?
So I understand that high school and college are completely separate things, but my thing is my academics have always kind of came first. That's my priority for me, is getting an education, and basketball is going to get me there. So my balance would probably be going to a lower level Division I school or a higher level Division II to where I can get very good academics, but at the same time play in a solid basketball program.
Awesome. So you already answered my next question. Awesome. Very cool. So you said you've been working out, have you kind of playing against your sister a little bit. What are some things that you have been working on specifically?
Okay, so my main focus going into the off season before any of the COVID-19 stuff came along was ball handling. That was the one thing I knew I needed to improve. I know I can shoot, and I'm going to continue to keep shooting, yes. But the part of my game that was lacking was ball handling. So that's been my main focus. And it's been tough for me, really, because that's something that I've never had to do myself. I've always been a wing player. I've always been a shooting guard. I've never been challenged to be a point guard. So I'm trying to work on both of those skills, yes.
Nice. So what are some drills that you're doing to help you with your handles?
So actually my high school coach set us up with something called home court. They have like daily drills and everything. Those I look up my own on YouTube. It just depends on the day. I have all different types of routines. I've done a lot of research on workouts, actually. That stuff interests me too. So I like to look into, oh, what's the best workout I could do today? What's the best workout I could do for this? So that's how I've handled it.
Who or what trainers do you like following for some of those workouts? Whose stuff do you really like?
Well, I've always looked into insider exposure because I went to their junior All-American camp. That's probably the most that I see on Twitter. I see those workouts all the time. I mean, anything really that pops up on Twitter is what I use. It just depends on how I'm feeling that day, what I feel I need to work on, how I struggled the day before to get better. It varies.
Cool. So talking a little bit about this past season, you all had a really good season this year.
Yes.
What do you think contributed to how well you all did?
So in the beginning of the season, yes, we had 2 transfers, Kennedy Stuyvesant and Alana Stuyvesant. So we knew that our dynamic was about to change. We knew that it would change for the better too. So our team chemistry going into the postseason was at its all-time high. And that's what had us motivated to go far and go far. And one of our coaches was actually in the hospital for most of the season. His name was Charlie Pop. He recently passed away, but we played for him. Like, we wrote on our shoes for Charlie Pop. That was our motivation going into the postseason, yes, but the whole team dynamic, we all just fit well together. Like, we socially understand our boundaries as teammates, but at the same time, whenever we're on the court, it's nothing like I've ever experienced before. It was very crazy to experience that kind of bond.
So now that you've had that feeling, how much does knowing that chemistry is so important play a part in where you want to go to college?
Oh, I always ask. Like, if I'm on a call with a college coach, I always ask the coaching dynamic. I always ask how the coaches get along, how the team thinks of it. If I can get in contact with one of their players to see firsthand how they feel about the program.
That's awesome. I love that you're doing your own research. I think a lot of times people rely on what coaches tell them.
Yeah.
But when you know what you're looking for, that makes it a lot easier for you to make that decision. So that's awesome. How do you think your role will change, if at all, next season?
So this season, really, I was a pure shooter almost. Like, there were no plays where I was driving to the basket. There were no plays where I was taking the ball up the court. And I've been working on my ball handling, like I said. So I feel like I will be able to be put in a situation where if I need to, I can handle the ball under pressure. I can handle the ball against teams that I didn't think that I could handle the ball against before. So I think that I'll be more of a combo guard rather than a wing, if you will.
So here we have your game against Providence. Tell me a little bit about what the game plan was going into this game.
Going into Providence, we were actually trying to work on all of our strengths because it was towards the end of the season, getting towards the postseason. So we had put in a lot of new plays to test out against them. That was like the practices leading up to Providence. We're throwing in a lot of new plays, a lot of new defenses. So we wanted to really mix things up and see what our strengths and weaknesses were going into the postseason.
Nice. All right. So let's start it up. All right. So this play starts out, you're kind of looping behind the defense here.
Yes.
So you get the ball. At this moment, what are you thinking or what are you looking at?
So I almost didn't want to turn and shoot because A, there were 2 big girls collapsing onto me. B, I was not even close to facing the rim quick enough to get my shot off. And I knew that Jacqueline was spotted up and they were more focused on me with the ball. So I remember this play ending. I ended up passing it to Jacqueline in the corner.
All right. So you all playing kind of is it a 1-2-2 or a 2-2-1
yes,
here?
It's actually like a 1-1-2-1, actually.
Okay. All right.
It was one of our presses.
We're going to see here that you do a good job of kind of reading the defense. So when you're in that kind of second line, third line spot, what is it that you're really trying to look for to decide whether or not to go for a steal? So
I'm in that position, I'm covering the middle of the floor. So honestly, my regular job in that scenario was to not even go for the ball, but to keep it out of the middle of the floor. Okay. So if it does try and go to the middle of the floor, that is my position to steal the ball or deflect it or keep it out of the middle was the big thing in that scenario.
So, yeah, you're taking it away the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And then why do you choose not to go up here? Instead, you kick it back out. So why'd you choose not to go for the layup there?
Well, I feel like my defender had already caught up to me and was already in a position where she would have swatted the ball out of the gym, because that's Natalie Bosing. She was extremely athletic and everything. So I guess I just didn't want to get the ball swatted. And I knew Jacqueline, again, was right behind me, so why not?
Nice.
We always had spot-up shooters. That was one of our strengths.
Mm-hmm.
We always had somebody spotted up to shoot.
Yeah, so we'll see it right here. You kind of spot up again on the wing there. And so we'll run that one back for a second.
Okay.
Because what I like about this play is that a lot of times people think, okay, I'm a spot up shooter. That means I sit in one spot and just stay there. And we actually can see you relocate here. So you skip it across. It gets thrown in the middle, and then you relocate to a nice window. So that's really good, just spacing awareness.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so that one ends up getting bobbled and turned over. But
Yeah.
watch that whole play one more time.
All over the place a little bit. It's okay. It's okay.
All right. So you grab it there. That shot falls a little bit short. Why do you think it was short?
I shot that extremely quick. I probably didn't get my legs under me enough.
Mm-hmm.
My form looked fine. I think it was my legs for sure.
All right, so that one's a little bit long that time. So do you think you were just kind of
Yep.
gauging the first one was short?
Yes.
So this one a little bit long?
Yes. I tended to do that a little bit.
Yeah. But it's good awareness. A lot of times people just keep shooting and they're not thinking, okay, well, that one was long and that one was right or that one was left.
Yeah.
So you can actually see yourself making in-game adjustments. So that's cool.
Yes.
So that when you get the little floater to drop at the buzzer,
Yeah.
is that a shot that you work on often?
The baseline drive, pull-ups, yes, for sure. Floaters, but baseline drives and jumpers for sure, because one of my main roles was I could shoot from the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So I was usually positioned there. So if I could get my defender to let me go baseline, then that was my thing. Yes.
So that one nice and in rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
So we see you go off the dribble there. So it's in your arsenal.
See,
what was it? What was it about that play?
Well, I caught the ball in the high post, and I played actually in the high post, the middle of the zone, a lot this season.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw that the middle defender of the zone was closing up high, and that's whenever you go around them, is that they close out too far out, because I had been shooting those mid-range jumpers the whole game, so. Mm-hmm. I understand that they were trying to close out on that shot, so you can just blow by them.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that one, you try to go for it, but you don't get it, right? So what adjustment could you have made there?
Can you play it back real quick?
Yep. So
definitely, okay. So they threw the pass extremely high, right? Probably was not expecting them to throw it up that high, but my timing was definitely off. I was too late getting there. Mm-hmm. I was a little bit quicker on my feet instead of going up and jumping for the ball. So mm-hmm. I think that could have helped if I would have jumped earlier and got my timing better. Mm-hmm.
So that one was a little bit off. What do you think about that shot? Why is that one a little bit off?
My shooting hand, my right hand, my follow through was off to the right. You can see it right there. It's mm-hmm. separated too much from my left hand.
Then I just like that ending play right there. You guys are already up big. Stays behind. But you're still diving on the floor. So is that kind of a staple of your game? Just
yes.
A hustle player?
Yes, that's what I have to do as a player. I have always been somebody who's not afraid to dive on loose balls, not afraid to take charges. That's my MO. If anybody knows me closely, they know that I love to take charges. It's what I do. It's one of the staples of my game, yes.
Nice. And so we are going to wrap this thing up. We like to do something we call our Fast Five. So I'm going to give you a category, and you've got like 90 seconds to give me 5, either names or whatever kind of the category is. Okay. So first one, your favorite 5 players to watch play at any level. Favorite 5 players to watch play.
Okay. LeBron James, always gotta say it. Michael Jordan, obviously. The Last Dance was an experience. I'd say, this is tough. Diana Taurasi. She's just, you can't. Sue Bird and Sabrina Ionescu.
That's a good 5. That's a really good 5. All right, next one. Your favorite 5 places to eat.
Ooh, okay. Panda Express. Any place with seafood. Does that count? That might not count.
You got to be specific.
Okay. Okay, well, it's called Kennedy's. It's in Florida. It's where my family always goes on vacation. It's our favorite little spot. Kennedy's, Destin, Florida. I recommend. I
need 3 more.
Chick-fil-A for sure. Popeyes is good too. I do love chicken.
One more. And
Cluckers, local. Keep it local. That's our spot after games. Cluckers.
Okay, that's the post-game spot.
Yeah. Boys and girls basketball. That's our favorite spot to go.
Awesome. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking some time to talk with me. How can people catch up with you on social media?
Okay. So my Twitter handle is @Rooney Emme. It's just my last name and my first name. My Instagram handle is Emme.Rooney. And I'm pretty active on both of them. If you were to DM me on either of them, I would definitely respond. So that's one way. My email is EROON0330@gmail.com. That's another way to keep up with me.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you for taking time to talk with me, and we'll see you next time.
Yep, I appreciate it. Thank you.
I hope you enjoy getting to learn more about Emme. She is a kid with a high work ethic who is only going to get better over time. So college coaches, make sure that she is on your list. You can follow Emme on both Twitter and Instagram. So make sure you do that, and we will check you all next time on The Pickup.